Hey everyone. I admit I'm really nervous to be on camera. This is a different type of video than what I normally do, but I got this idea from my really good friend Carol Bird, and I'll link her video in the description. But she encouraged people to think about what kind of legacy they want to leave and what kind of imprint they want to leave in the world when they're gone. On April 8th, my grandma, she was the one who raised me and like a mother to me, and she passed away. So I've been thinking about this a lot and kind of feeling like I've lost my purpose in life, because for so long my life kind of revolved around making the most of the time left with her and helping her and just being there for her. And with her gone, I've been grappling with what my purpose in life is without her here. And this kid's book, this was actually the book my grandma got me when I was a kid. And this story, believe it or not, it kind of helped me come to terms with death and what I believe it means. Not everyone would agree, it's just what I believe, and also kind of what I want my imprint to be and what I want my legacy to be. So I'm just going to read this story and then explain what it means to me. Of course, I didn't catch all this hidden meaning in it when I was a kid, but I really like this story. So here's the first page. Of all the Christmas tree ornaments made that year so very long ago, only one had a happiness. The ornament was round, red, and shiny, and his name was Noel. Now at the very moment Noel was created, old Herman, the glass blower, received some wonderful news. His only daughter had just given birth to a baby girl. Old Herman was a grandpa at last. He cried for pure joy. Here's the next set of pictures. It was Noel's good fortune that one of those tears of joy bounced off Herman's puffed cheek, trickled down the glass blower's pipe, and fell with a tinkling sound inside Noel. It became the small ornament's happiness. "My name is Noel, and I have a happiness," shouted the magical little ornament. Noel was placed in a cardboard box with 11 other ornaments. All of them together were a thing called a dozen. They were taken to a store where they became a thing called for sale. Noel was quite excited, but the other ornaments were bored and sleepy. You see, none of the others had a happiness. The dozen were purchased by a people thing called a mother. The mother thing was accompanied by 3 smaller pretty things called children. "I like children things the best," cried Noel. "They are little, noisy, and happy like me." The other ornaments just grumbled. The mother thing took the dozen to a beautiful old house where she and her 3 little children things lived with the father thing. "Everybody inside," she said merrily, "for tonight is Christmas Eve and there's lots to do." I forgot to show that set of pictures. I hope those are showing up okay. Later that night, after the children things went to sleep, Noel and the dozen were hung on the branches of a Christmas tree named Brutus. Tiny glowing lights known as the Mazda sisters and bright strands of silver known as the Tinsel clan twinkled all about them. Around the base of the tree, the father thing set up a toy electric train named McIves. It chugged its season's message, "Season's greetings, season's greetings." And then a special space was made for one final mysterious thing that was placed lovingly under Brutus by the mother thing. "What's that down there, Brutus?" Noel asked the huge tree who had become his friend. "I can't see inside." "It's a little toy stable," answered Brutus. "But why would they have a toy stable?" Noel wanted to know. "Well, Noel, somehow that little stable is what tonight is all about." The next day it was a magnificent thing called Christmas. There were toys and there was laughter. Presents were exchanged and there was more laughter. Grandpa and Grandma things visited and there was even more laughter. Oh, it was a wonderful time that went on for 7 whole days and nights. But then it became a terrible thing called January 2nd, the back to normal thing. Noel and all the other things that made Christmas magic were packed back in their boxes, and Brutus was hauled outside. "Goodbye, little fellow, goodbye," the tree called to Noel. "Keep that happiness of yours, never lose it." Noel and the others were put into a high, dusty, dark thing called an attic where time passed very slowly. Outside the house it became things called springtime and summer and autumn. Then came the first snowfall, and then finally "Hey, it's back again, the good thing, the wonderful, beautiful, Christmasful thing," cried Noel. There was a new tree, but everything else was the same as the year before. The mother and father things, the children things, the lights, the toys, old MacGyves, and of course the mysterious toy stable. But soon Christmas was over, and the attic thing was Noel's prison once more. In this way year followed year, a bittersweet blend of joy in a dusty attic. As the years passed, the children things grew up and the mother and father things grew old. And then one day the father thing said, "Oh, let's not bother with the tree this year." There would be no more Christmases. The nice old house, empty now and falling into disrepair, had only the memories of holidays long ago. Noel and the rest of the dozen were left in the attic to become faded and chipped and a thing called forgotten. Could everything be over? Nothing is ever truly over when one has a happiness. And so one happy day, years later, a new family moved in. The new father thing painted and repaired the house. It looked just the way it had years before. It was ready for the holidays again. Sorry, this story always makes me emotional since I was a kid. I'm trying to keep it together here. On Christmas Eve, the new mother thing found the old decorations in the attic and hung Noel on the tree. But Noel had grown weak. His once sturdy hook could no longer support him. Suddenly it gave way. Poor Noel fell to the floor and was smashed. Even though Noel's body was broken into 100 pieces, he was still aware, and from his position on the floor he could see into the little toy stable for the first time. "Why, there are toy people things," he said, "and a little toy child thing." And then there was the thing called the miracle. Trying to keep it together and not cry. For now that Noel's old glass body was gone, his happiness, the thing that really was Noel, was released. Like a merry little comet, it rose from the floor, bounced around the room, then flew up through the chimney and into the Christmas dawn. "My name is Noel, and I have a... No, I am a happiness," he shouted. Noel raced the Christmas dawn around the world. He visited houses of every size and description, and each had its own set of people and children things. Some spoke different languages and had different ways of life. Indeed, some had never even heard of Christmas. "Who cares?" shouted Noel. "I've got enough happiness for everybody." For wonder of wonders, little Noel had become the pure joy of Christmas, and he would live on forever in the hearts of all mankind. "Merry Christmas!" shouted Noel. "Merry Christmas!" Okay, so the first thing that, I guess how this relates to what I want people to remember about me is, if I die, I just want people to think to themselves that I have something inside of me that's not from this world. when the tear went into Noel and gave him his happiness, I relate that to how when I became a Christian, how the Holy Spirit put that joy, that spirit inside of me that wasn't there before. And that's something I want people to notice about me and to remember, not to glorify myself at all, but to glorify God, and just to just for people to be inspired by that, I guess, as something that they can have and that they can spread into the world too. And of course, the other thing I noticed that never really hit me until I was thinking about this story after my grandma died, but the ornament, he was never able to see into this stable. His vision was very limited as long as he was in this glass body. And then when the ornament broke and his spirit was released, like, he could see everything. And I just kind of feel that way about when I die. Like, we're really hindered by these bodies we're stuck in. And I'd always been kind of depressed, like every day I'm moving towards death. But I can see this in a new way, to not see it as moving towards death, but moving towards a new beginning where I'm not going to be hindered by this body, and the spirit is freed after that. And like Noel, the spirit that really was him was still there. It didn't matter that the ornament was broken, and not only was it still there, but it was able to see in a whole new way because it wasn't hindered by the physical body anymore. And that's just maybe a silly thing that kind of helped me to deal with my grandma's death, because she was in a lot of pain for the last several years, and trying not to get emotional, but when I was there when she died, when she took her last breath, I was there, and I had always thought that I would just sink into this deep depression or have some big breakdown, but my very first thought when she died was that she's not in pain anymore, and she's not hindered by that body she was stuck in anymore. And it was really unexpected to me, but I was happy for her more than what I was sad for myself. And of course that sadness really sank in later. But whenever I die, I just want people to be happy for me, that I'm on to a new experience, and I've moved into a new life, and I hope that I show the love of Christ in my life, and that people who knew me before, I hope that they see how God really changed my life by putting that happiness in me. Like Noel says, my name is Noel and I have a happiness. Well, I hope that I have the Spirit of Christ in me that shows through, since that seed was planted by the Holy Spirit. And I guess that's really the biggest thing I would want my legacy to be, is just for that to shine through, and for people to remember that. And even if that makes a difference in one person's life, that would be enough for me. So yeah, that's my video. I got this idea from my good friend Carol. She made her video about the book The Velveteen Rabbit. So then it made me think about this book, and I apologize, I'm not really good with my words and stuff. I have autism, high functioning autism, so That's why I stumble a bit, because normally I would script a video like this, but when I do that, then the emotion doesn't come through, and I didn't want it to sound robotic and scripted. So I really thank you if you've listened to this and if you've gotten any kind of inspiration from it, and just encourage everyone to think about what you would want your legacy or your thumbprint on the world to be. Thanks so much for listening. God bless you.